One, two, three. It is magical how well that works, no matter who's doing it, where you're at. So hey, thanks everybody for coming today. It's a great turnout. There's a ton of Christmas spirit in this room. Love to see it. So thanks everybody. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our team meeting today. So first up, button works. No, it doesn't.
Oh, boy.
That's good. There we go. All right, so making gratitude a habit. Anybody got anything they're grateful for they'd like to share? Mercedes.
I'm grateful for the team because we have a party on Friday and I'm looking forward to that.
Anybody else? Anything they're grateful for? 'Tis the season. Well, I, for one, am grateful for this turnout. Like, wow, thanks for showing up, guys. Appreciate that. Going once? Yep.
So I'm very thankful for Ashley because she has helped us so much with just mail that we've had come in and like any issues that we come across, like you always have an answer. So I'm very
Thank
thankful.
I'm Ashley. All right. As always, our Y4C2Ts, win, win or no deal, integrity, do the right thing. This month, I'd like to focus on the second of the C's, the commitment. Commitment in all things. This time of year, especially, I think commitment is really important. It's cold outside. It's kind of nasty. It's easy just to stay in, kind of let things slide. But we got to keep in mind we need to be committed to our goals. Not only finishing out 2025 strong, but also our goals that we have hopefully set for 2026. It's okay. I'm not saying it's not okay to take some time off and enjoy the family and the holiday season, but to stay committed to those things that are important to each and every one of you, whatever that may be. So, and not only that, but commitment to our friends, our family, our clients, and ourselves. So just I think it's a good time of year to focus on that commitment and what we're trying to accomplish now and coming into the new year. For you Zoomers out there, a couple keynotes keep in mind. And with that, we're going to get started. We've got a game that Ashley has for us today.
Do you want them not to cheat? No looking yet?
Yeah, don't look yet.
Okay, take one down, pass it around, and don't be peeking. Don't be peeking. No. Look at what it is.
Well, that's all right.
Can you pass?
Take them down.
Yeah, just try it. Oh, okay.
I did not look. I didn't like that.
You want?
I can. That'll show up real vibrant. Oh, yeah. We need any more? I don't think you're guys are good. We're good.
Everybody got a paper? Everybody got a pen?
Anybody else see the pen?
Yes, I do.
Is it Bible?
Hey, Brian.
Ready?
Yeah. Okay. So this one?
Oh, I have one.
Well, that was stuck in my head now.
Are we good? It's in my head, so I might as well share it out.
Okay, so our game is Christmas Think Fast. On each category, there are 3 lines. You have to think of the word that comes to mind for each category. The first 3 people that get it done within 1 minute is a winner.
We have to do 3 answers for each.
3 answers for each category.
Wow.
We have 1 minute.
Are you ready?
Yep. Are you ready?
And yeah,
Sorry. Yes, Liz.
Oh, yeah.
We gave them that.
Best you can. If we need 1 extra minute, that's okay.
I thought we were going.
I want to play too. And that mine. What after midnight? Yeah.
Something red.
Pastor Gina with these. I set those up there and we totally forgot the interest.
No, it was
10 seconds.
Do you need 1 more minute?
Yeah,
And then you can just restart it. No, you know, I don't have to read
Where are you at?
Sorry about that. We have 30 more seconds.
Someone open seat by you, Jake? Or is that Ashley?
And that is time.
There was no way.
Did anybody get every line?
No. That'd be very impressive.
I'm missing 2 lines. That's it?
Give them another minute, Ashley, and see who gets.
No,
there.
she's
I
close.
was about to say, Sam is the closest. She has all but 6 lines.
Oh.
Well, 2. Well, yes, 2 rows. All but 2 rows. All but 4. All but 4. All but 2 rows.
Like all the extra spots.
Oh, then I did. Okay. Does anybody have more than
Us.
less than 2 spots?
I failed.
So we have a Caitlin winner. Anybody with less than 4 spots?
I don't know, Sam's like look really.
5
good.
spots, which is Sam.
Was nice. We got.
So our 3 winners for the game was Caitlin, Sam, and Tiffany. You're welcome. Why not? I don't know why I sat down. I don't know why I sat down. She did. Coming up here.
That's what I'm needing.
So we had a total of 5 agents that 6 agents that we have onboarded for the month of November. Rico Harris went to PC. Ethan Coons went to PC. Joanne Miller went to PC. Curtis Brummer went to PC. And then Raquel Campbell went to the Odyssey group.
And I think Curtis and Ethan are in here. Is that all our new folks that are in here? Huh?
Yeah, Ethan Curtis, can you guys stand up real quick just so we can introduce everybody? First on the left, Ethan on the right, welcome guys.
It's me, that's you.
All right. So November's profit share was $22,475, which puts us year to date at $372,525,000. And then our November cappers, I know we have at least one in the room. Gina Van Orsdale, Sam Holmes, who I, right? Hello, sorry. And then Tina Bagnoli. Okay, November top producers. November is a tough month. There is a whole holiday in there. You guys killed it. Keep up the great work. If you were on this list, can you stand and give yourself a round of applause? I think that's all for me, but.
Yep. Next, we got Gina. Gina, welcome.
Okay, I'm tagging on to what you were already talking about commitment. We actually just did this class last week in coaching, so I thought it would be a good thing that I could bring to you guys here today. Who doesn't do a GPS for their business? So everybody does a GPS for their business, or we're just always afraid of them to raise our hand? Who doesn't do one? Okay, so I thought it would, I guess to say it would be fun wasn't necessarily a thought. It was a lot of extra work for me to do this, but I got this out in my head that we needed to have a GPS example for several different sources of business, also based on 3 different levels of production. So as you're going through this step, it might get a little confusing because I confused myself as I was doing it until I kind of figured it out. So we have a blank one for the year. We haven't done one yet. And so we basically have 9 buckets. Look at it as 9 different sources of business. And then I broke down each of those 9 sources based on somebody who wants to close 6 transactions for the year. And we budgeted right around 1 to 10 hours a week. Somebody that wants to have a goal of 6 to 12 closings. Same priorities as you'll see, but just upping the amount of closings. And then 12 to 24 closings and beyond on the next one. So you should have 9 pieces of paper plus the blank one. And what I would like for everyone to be able to utilize is, what are your 3 priorities of the 9 examples? Based on the level of production that you want to do for next year. So as you'll notice, and like whenever I am going over a GPS with new people, and as they're not new anymore, and we're still revising it or looking at it for the year. The only difference, let's say, for example, for open house is in the strategies is the frequency in which you do it. And that's going to be the thing. I know oftentimes when I have these conversations with agents, you're thinking they're going to do something different if you sell 24 houses versus if you sell 6. It isn't something different. It's more often, or how many calls I'm going to make versus doing and having a different conversation. So I would recommend that everybody does work off of a GPS, whether or not you use these as an example for what you're going to do. I literally just ChatGPT were their 10 most utilized sources of business for top agents, in our country. And 10 of them came up and I narrowed it down to 9. So just to give you an example, if I'm wanting to sell 6 houses, then I do need to at least work 1 to 10 hours a week. Sell 6 houses and work 1 hour a month. So we really need to focus on those hours. I would also take it to the next step. When we're doing strategies, I find it interesting that people lose sight of the fact that every one of these 15 strategies, by the way, imagine these columns are just pieces of paper. You don't have to use one whole template. You can fill it in however you see fit. But that you would be losing track as I said that. Everybody would need to know that you're going to be able to decide after the first quarter, is it working or is it not? And then do I double down on it, or do I want to abandon ship and replace it with somebody else? don't lie to yourself. Like, I never put a commitment on my GPS that I, like, for example, I'm not going to the gym 5 days a week. I can put it there, I can look at it every day, but it's just never gonna happen. So do make sure that you set those things for yourself. And know when you're, whether you're using this exactly as it's written or you're creating it yourself, that these 15 strategies are action items that can be measured. I find that that's where people forget when they're looking at their strategies, that if it's not an action item, then what is the to-do in that? And if I can't measure it, how do I hold myself accountable? So every time you're putting together a GPS, you need to define your strategies as it's an action item that you can measure. I'm taking it to the next step as I'm one-on-oneing my agents. And we're going to then take each of these strategies and time block it on the calendar. So I always envision that if these were little sticky notes and I was just plopping them on a calendar where they're going to go, because when people look at their calendar and say, I have 2 hours blocked for real estate, you're gonna spend 15 to 20 minutes just figuring out what you're gonna do. And then oftentimes you get sidetracked and then check the email and the stuff like that, and not actually ever get to the stuff that you're supposed to be doing. So, questions on any of that? So there'll be a quiz next time and we'll make sure everyone brings their. We would love to see what you guys came up with.
All right, thanks, Gina. I would just piggyback on Gina. If you're not using the GPS, give it a shot. You really don't have anything to lose. Personally, I went to a business planning clinic a couple of years ago, and it wasn't the first time I heard about the GPS, but it might have been the first time it really kind of sunk in. Started doing it, started sharing it with my team, and really saw some good results the next year and then the following year. So it really is it's simple but powerful. So thanks a lot, Gina, for bringing that up. All right, Cliff, you're up.
How's everybody doing? Quite good. Sorry, I didn't take part in the ugly sweater. I have a Raiders one, and it was ugly sweater, not absolutely terrible freaking sweater. So I decided not to wear that today. So, oh my goodness. So, but hello everybody. It's good to see everybody. It's holiday time and lots of fun with family and friends and all that kind of good stuff. A couple of quick things that I wanted to touch on was just back in November, because I still gotten recently a couple clients and even some agents reaching out to me about this 620, the minimum credit score thing with Fannie Mae. Okay, so basically the details with that is that they're changing their model to not make everything just, all encompassed around having a minimum 620 credit score to qualify for conventional financing. Okay, they're going to look at all the different factors, the overall credit profile, debt to income ratio, assets, all those kinds of things is going to contemplate in what their approval might be for a conventional approval. Okay, so the low credit score, so they may have they may have a 590 and be able to go do a conventional loan. Okay, they haven't changed the model yet, like what FHA does in regards to like the minimum credit score for like interest rate. So that's still probably not going to help with their pricing as far as what the interest rate stands at, but they still may be able to do conventional. So more details will come out on that, in the coming months or whatever. So, but one other new program that CrossCountry is getting ready to roll out, and I'll give you all the details and the timeline on that, is our fix and flip program. I've been waiting for this program for so long. I think this is going to be a great product, especially it's going to be ideal for real estate investors with construction experience or strong, contractor relationships. It's going to be a great product. It's going to basically be like a 12 to 24 month interest only payment type of loan. Up to 85% loan to cost is what the details are. Loan to cost is loan amount divided by total project cost. So a little different than LTV, but outstanding product, and I can't wait for this to come out. $75K to $2 million like loan range. So looking forward to it. I'll keep you posted once it comes out, and we'll go from there. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cliff. Appreciate it. All right, so pretty excited for this next part. In a room full of rock stars, we have two rock stars coming up today to talk to us about how they're winning with listings. So if you guys can welcome me and bring up Nick Rock and Mercedes Dunn.
Hi, guys. You get that back a little. Don't want to snare that. Everybody. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, guys, before we get start and dive into the meat of the presentation, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Mercedes, ladies first.
Hi, I'm Mercedes Dunn. What do you wanna know?
How long have you been in real estate?
I've been in the
Let's
industry
say-
about 10 years. I got licensed in Chicago when I was there at school. Worked under the 5 top producing agents at Jameson Sotheby's International Realty. One of them bought out my salary and taught me everything I know. And then my dad got sick. He's in remission now. But I moved home, got licensed here, and been doing it ever since.
My name is Nick Rock. I've been licensed for 13 years. I think I've been to most of the brokerages around here. I've probably worked with most of you at some point.
But we're the best though, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
This is
Save
being
the best for
recorded.
last. But yeah,
Nick was unpaid for that plug. No. So, guys, when we're talking about winning with listings, so what is one part of your listing presentation that you feel confident about that gets you a lot more closings, more wins?
I can take that one. Building rapport. You can't just go in and start talking business. You have to walk in and you have to look around the home and find little things that maybe they're a sports lover and you bond over that, or maybe they have kids and so you're like, oh, I have an 8-year-old too. Like, where do you take them? Do they do this? Do they do that? I don't start with real estate. I start with getting to know them, and I think that makes a big difference.
yeah, I would say similar. Basically the first thing that I do is a walkthrough of the home. I tell them, hey, give me a tour of the home. Nobody knows the home better than you do. And while we're taking that tour, ask them a lot of questions. People like to talk about themselves, and the more that you can get them talking, the more comfortable they're going to end up being. And typically I try not to sit down till I feel confident enough that they are comfortable with me to have that conversation without any kind of pushback.
Is there one key indicator that either one of you look for from the client that lets you know they're comfortable enough for you to sit down and move on?
Getting some kind of a laugh from them at some point. It just shows that there's some kind of level of comfort there that, they've dropped their guard a little bit, and usually it makes for an easier process at that point.
Yeah, a little bit of laugh, a bit of jokes aside, and yeah, I agree with that.
Either of you have any kind of like tools or visuals or anything that you bring to your listing presentations that you feel like are powerful and win the client over? Anything like CMAs, charts, any?
Yeah, so I've got a listing presentation that I will go through page by page depending on the personality of the client. If you're not familiar with the DISC profiles, get familiar with that. And if you can get that profile for the client that you're about to meet, it will help you out tremendously. So if it's a C-type personality, you know that they're going to be researching the numbers. You can focus on that. If they're an S-type personality, you're going to focus a lot more on the walkthrough of the home. All these different things that help out. And really, as long as you're bringing anything with you, you're probably more prepared than half the other agents out there. So that's always a big plus.
Yeah, so I have a listing presentation that's printed out into like a booklet. And then I always bring something like besides that. So like I bring like my calendar for the year and give it to them, or like a sports calendar, depends what I have at that moment. They like receiving gifts, like even if it's something small, like a moving package tape saying, listen, I know you're gonna get moving soon, so I wanted to bring you something so you can get started. And people love getting gifts. Come on, we all do. But as far as like my CMA, I bring my computer after I do the walkthrough with everyone. And you kind of can build up those profiles while you're walking and asking them questions, but you have to tour the home first. You don't sit down first. And then when I actually sit down, I pull out the MLS and I do basically my search, what FHA or appraisals are going to look like or look at, like half-mile radius, same school district, same bedrooms, bath, same garage size. And I don't tell them a price. I give them a range before I get there, and I tell them I'm gonna have to tour your home first to really give you a number. But I let them decide, because I'll show them all the pictures for the comps that are showing right now. And then I'll let them make the decision. I'll be like, so comparison to your home, how do you feel like you stand between these comparables? And then that's when we really break it down to getting into the numbers.
So one thing that Mercedes, you just said, to sum it up, you bring them swag.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it. Is there anybody else out here bringing swag to any of their listing presentations for giveaways? Right, Svetlix, Danielle, nice. That's awesome, because you're right, everybody does love free stuff. Talking about your presentations, you're personalizing them, you're focusing on the type of where they fall out on the disc. On average, how long are you guys spending with a presentation so that you're not like burning them out?
My typical appointments anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes.
About an hour. Yeah.
Okay.
Really depends the person. If you could tell that they're just kind of like zoning out on you, then you want to make it quicker. If they're more asking you 100 questions, I'll stay all day. Like, come on, let's eat dinner. Let's hang out.
I mean, having dinner with them, with the family is a good way to build rapport, right?
Heck yeah.
So, when a seller is trying to rush you through and just wants just to get to the price, and they just keep coming back to the price, they're not giving you an opportunity to go through your other parts of your pitch. How are you handling that?
Honestly, I go with the flow. So I tell them, I go with the flow, but then I also remind them that I'm a professional and I know what I'm doing. I have to walk the house, like to understand what I'm actually looking at to be able to give a price. So I kind of like ease their rush, I guess. And then I'll go through quicker for those type of people than I would anybody else. I don't know what you do, but yeah.
Yeah, it's usually a little bit quicker at that point. And it comes back to knowing that disc profile being a D-type personality. You can usually pick up on that from the phone call, the initial pre-qualification there when you're setting the appointment. You'll kind of know going into it that that's what you're getting into. But yeah, it's a quick walkthrough of the home. And at the end of the walkthrough, I'll typically look to them and say, hey, you've got a lovely home here based on the comps that we're about to go over here shortly. And what I'm seeing here, I think that a listing price in the range of such and such and such and such is going to be best for the sale of the home. Is that in the ballpark of what you were expecting? So if they say no, they can kick me out right there. We save each other time. 9 times out of 10, they are realistic about the price and they will say, yeah, well, that's a little bit lower, or that's right in line with what I was expecting. And then we go ahead and review the comps.
Yeah. So that kind of leads me into my next question. How are you handling it if there is such a big gap between what you're seeing and what they're thinking?
I asked them how they came up with that price. So, and a lot of times it's
Nick Zillow said.
Right, yeah, that gives me a good idea. Zillow has never been in your home. Zillow gives themselves a margin of error of 30% either way on a $200,000 house. That's 60 grand either way.
I love the quote. They're like, oh, I'll get my thing from Zillow. And I'm like, okay, well, WebMD says, I don't know if you guys seen this. WebMD says I'm going to die in 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have facts or go see a real doctor.
Right. What is one area, if there is, of your presentation that's new to 2025 that you're finding is working for you and you're glad you implemented this year?
I don't have anything new. I kind of stick with what works for me.
Tried and true.
Yes.
I started relying more again on absorption rates. Kind of got away from those whenever the market was crazy. And if you don't know what an absorption rate is, I can kind of explain it to you a little bit later on. It's basically a metric that we can use to show how much inventory is currently on the market, and it sets the expectations for what their listing is going to look like and how long they could expect to be on the market, and at what different price points it might be advantageous to them.
Anybody else show of hands using absorption rates when they're talking listing present? Jose, Megan, nice. Okay. Is there an area, Mercedes, is there an area of your presentation that you are looking to improve?
Yeah, I would love to pull more of my personal numbers compared to other agents. I had people sit down and say, oh, based on the numbers, you look like you can sell them faster and for more money than the average agent in the area. Well, I don't have that statistic and I know I can find it. I'm sorry. Amanda's gonna kill me or someone in this room is gonna kill me for that. But bringing those like current numbers to give out is where I want to improve on.
Okay. Nick, anything for you?
I'm always looking to make it more interactive. The more I can talk and have a back and forth with the client, as opposed to me just presenting something and, you know, basically giving a performance with a book, better off it'll be.
Let's say you go through your presentation, pricing's not an issue, anything like that. But maybe you feel like this just isn't a good fit. Like this isn't the kind of client you want to work with for whatever reason outside of price. How are you handling that?
Typically, I would find that out later on. It's pretty rare that that comes up in the beginning, but I do make it a point to joke with the client and say, you know, hey, look, at any point, and I genuinely do make sure that they know that my listing agreement, they can opt out at any point in time. So long as we are not actively negotiating a contract, under contract, or presenting contracts, then they can get out of it. Because more than likely, if they don't like working with me, I don't like working with them either, and I'll sign the release even quicker.
Fair enough. Mercedes?
I agree with that. You find out later when sometimes their food colors come out and then you're like, oh, what did I get myself into? But I work with a lot of spear and referrals, so I don't really come against people I hate, you know, too often. But yeah, I don't know.
Is there a, I mean, sellers are kind of always focused on price. I get that. But outside of that, is there any other like thing that you've noticed that sellers are paying really close attention to right now? Like more so than in the past?
A lot of my sellers are buying and selling at the same time.
Okay.
So figuring out how that looks for them, if they need to align dates a certain way to be able to close and buy at the same time. Do they need a bridge loan? Do they need they're kind of worried about that because a lot of people can't buy a new house and not sell their old one. Right now, for me at least. So.
I think probably the biggest change over the last like 2 years or so is the sellers have been more receptive to what the buyers are going through, because the interest rates have been in the news so much.
Okay.
So being able to explain to them, hey, they are asking for closing costs because they've probably only saved up for this. They're probably looking to buy down their rate to a manageable amount. The minute I tell them, you know, the payment for the home that you currently have that they are buying is going to be $2,500 to $3,000 per month, they're completely floored. They cannot believe that someone has to pay that, and they're a little bit more easygoing with negotiations at that point.
Mercedes, talk to me a little bit about how you handle the contingency, like setting your seller up with that looking to buy a new house but has to sell. What's that conversation look like with them?
So it's really looking at days on market for their house. And there's a couple ways of going about it. Like for how I do it is if they're looking for something attainable, you can get extended possession on the listing and then find your house or find the house first. But then that's harder to get a home sale contingency or concurrency accepted. I mean, obviously, if you sell it, then you need to do the concurrency part, but you set up for extended possession. So you have to line the dates where it's you sell the first house, they get the funds, but they're still in that house to then be able to buy this house, and then they have to get extended possession in this house too. So it's a little bit of a, you know, like it takes a little bit to make sure all those dates align, but it keeps them away from having to do the bridge loans. And I found that is attainable and can help them. So
you're encouraging them to list first.
It depends.
Okay.
So if what they're looking for is one comes on every 6 months, hell no. Sorry for the language. But if there's what they're looking for is attainable, and we've been showing them houses and they're like, oh, this is exactly what we want, then we move quick to get it listed. I always tell them, I go, listen, we have 3 days to get it on the market if they accept a home sale contingency. And then we have 14 days usually for us is what I put in there. Everyone put different things. To get it under contract at that point. That's if they do a home sale contingency and they didn't list first. But if you list first, and then you're showing them houses in the meantime, depending on how long the house sits on the market, or depending on the year, that's why you have to know like days on market for the average sale in that price range in that house in that area. But yeah, that's how I go about it.
Nick, you doing anything different?
Contingencies are usually the ones that I'm working with more recently have been when the absolute perfect home has come on the market. So they're really not that prepared. If we've had good luck in being able to explain to the listing agent, hey, here's our game plan. We know that we're not on the market yet, but I give them the address, I give them the price that we're going at. I'll even go as far as start to pre-plan price reductions if we don't see any movement. I'll tell them, hey, I'll give you updates each week. If we don't see a under contract in a week, we'll go down to this price and just really give them a roadmap of what they could expect from our end as far as making sure that.
Like you gotta put a fire under your butt. If you only have 14 days to get it under contract, you can't just wait for that price to stay and hope something's gonna change. You're kind of put under the gun on that.
So I'm willing to bet that a lot of agents that are working with buyers that have the contingency aren't doing what you just said.
Right.
That you do. So when you're talking to a listing agent and you're laying this all out to them, what kind of feedback from them are you getting?
Usually positive.
Yeah, I think that's great what he just said. Like that's going kind of like above and beyond for your buyer client. If you're helping to lay out to the listing agent, like, yes, we have this contingency and everybody thinks this, scary and whatnot, but here is my game plan. Here's what we're doing. I think that would go a long way.
It's basically thinking as the listing agent, what would make me comfortable with accepting the contract from this person if they had that same contingency.
Caitlin had a hand.
Oh, I just had a question. I know it's about listings, but when you're working with a buyer and you know that they have to sell in order to buy, at what point, like, do you show them a few houses and you're like, okay, we really need to have a listing appointment? Like, when do you have the listing appointment?
Typically after the first showing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be best if we all know exactly what's going on, what to expect. Plus, it allows them to start planning on the amount of equity that they've got in the home. They can get in contact with, a lender and go over with them, hey, Nick told me that I could probably get this price, going over the net sheet, here's what my profit's gonna be. Puts them in a much better position, not just to buy, but to look as well.
Yeah, agree with that.
Question for that. So, when you go over the seller net sheet with the client, is it at the listing appointment? Because we get a lot of sellers all the time that are getting pre-approved for their new house, and they have no idea how much they're profiting. So
how are you gonna move forward?
I know.
I will typically go over the net sheet whenever we're signing paperwork to list the home. I used to bring a net sheet with me. That backfired quite a few times because then people are under the impression that you've already priced their home before you've seen it. And how could you ever know the price of my home without seeing that I painted this bedroom teal? Or something like that. So, kind of showing that, you're surprised and, oh gosh, yes, the kitchen is updated. This definitely needs taken into account. And that's why we give that range too, because I'm not going to be the one that puts the exact price on the home. I explained to them, my job is to give you a price point at which most people are going to be interested in this home. The price that it sells for is between you and the buyer, not me. So giving them as much information on that as possible helps out, and then going over the net sheet once we've established that list price.
Yeah, I bring American Title Solutions title capture on my computer because I bring my computer to all my listing appointments. And then after we've sat down, build rapport, walked the house, went over all of the different comps, then when we decide a number together, that's when I'll do a net seller sheet. We'll talk about, listen, what's your dream house look like? You know, I'll have both the buyer and the listing presentation at that meeting with them. Because if what they're looking for isn't attainable, I'm not gonna go show them houses yet, you know?
So with that, good question. So let's open it up to anybody else that has any questions for Mercedes or Nick.
Yeah, I got one, guys. All right, how do you guys handle the conversation with clients when you're reviewing their property to list their house and they need to like fix it up? Like maybe it's just a little dated. How does that conversation go, you know, at least in today's market? And what do you guys, you know, kind of encourage them to do in order to either get top value or they're gonna just get rid of it?
I'm always brutally honest with my people. I go, listen, if your house isn't sparkling and shining with what a buyer, because buyers don't want, with interest rates, with payments per month, they can't take on as many projects as you might think, right? Buyers are wanting a move-in ready home. So when I'm walking and if it's like a little chip and paint, little this or that, I go, listen, if you don't do anything to your home, you saw the comparables, this is what you could get, right? If you do this, and this, I think we'll be able to do this and you'll net more. I go, you might have to put in a couple grand to fix a couple things, but then you're gonna make more money in the end. So I kind of walk, I'm just brutally honest, like if they have like mold in the shower creases, I'm like, all right, we gotta do that, you know, that's a must. Just needs a shine. And I'll just tell them.
Yeah, I mean, similar, it's, you know, a deep clean's gonna go a long way for the home, but at this point, to update a kitchen or to update a bath, to try and predict what that next client wants is next to impossible. And if you spend $10,000 on that, you might get 6,000 of it back.
Yeah.
It's just not gonna make too much sense. So we really focus on things that are going to inhibit financing, like FHA, VA. Try to get it over that hill, make sure that it'll pass there. And beyond that, we'll use aggressive pricing as opposed to sink a ton of money into this place, hoping that the next people like it.
Right.
And on the flip side, how do you deal with sellers that, let's say you're talking to them on the phone and you're trying to get an appointment, and you're like, well, hold on, I wanna do some updates to my house before I list it. And, you know, you just wanna like go and see their house. So that they're not putting money into their house that, you know, they may not get back
I just,
as a return.
just be honest with them. Just say, listen, but I can't give you any recommendations until I actually see your home. You know, I can give you the numbers of this makes sense, if this is what the house looks like. You know, this is if you don't do anything, this is what it looks like, but I'm just brutally honest with them and I just say, I have to tour it. I can give you a range, but until I actually see it in person, I can't really help you.
I'll rely on contacts too. You know, okay, if you're redoing your bathroom, why don't I come through, take a look at it? I'll give you some names of some people that might be able to help with the flooring, the tile work. We'll kind of go over what's gonna work best for you.
Any other questions? So last one for me. What's one thing that you think everybody should have in their listing presentation? Mercedes, will start.
I think a listing guide, tell about yourself, the process, your lenders, your 3 of everything within one little thing to take away. That way they can always remember you too. I think that's important.
Okay, as much information as you can about pricing of the home. To show that you've done the research, not just on the market, but on their home as well. It shows that you are taking this seriously, you've already put in that time, and it really does help out to, if you're competing against someone, being able to show that you've taken that step is 9 times out of 10 get them winning you the listing.
Yep.
Well, Nick, Mercedes, thank you so much. There's a lot of great info.
Good.
All right. And next
Yeah.
up is Ashley for our holiday sweater contest.
Okay.
He's here. Oh, good. Oh, good, you're here. I was getting nervous.
So next is our holiday sweater contest. So anybody who feels that they have a nice festive sweater that they want to be part of the contest, please stand up and come up front. Go for it.
Come on, ladies.
Anybody? Carly, Danielle, Sam. Oh, yeah, you belong up there.
Yeah, I said yes, I know.
Oh, wait,
Danielle, let me see your.
Here, the use have.
It's really about the
She
t-shirt,
needs
y'all.
to fly with her.
Adam?
It's like-
My, yes.
All right.
Oh, my God.
Come on, Adam. Stuff it doesn't fall out. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna go right above their head and whoever
Stop it.
feels.
So fire chase garland or.
Yes, so. Anybody? For Kelly. And for Liz. And Christine. What about Danielle?
Girl.
I would say with that being said, I'm pretty sure that the winner is Christine.
Yeah. Sure, gotta get underwear involved up there.
Oh.
All right, thanks, ladies. All very festive. Clearly, we love. All right, as always, anytime you are texting, calling, follow the TCPA rules, please. And next up, let's welcome the Grinch or Rich.
Wait.
I mean, I go by both. The guys were wondering, are you just calling the girls up in the sweater contest?
No, I.
No, I said everybody.
No, he then said the women, he said girls come up.
Oh, because they were all.
So there's only two of us that wore it, but that's.
That's not true.
I lost. All right. MLS Now forms, if any of you guys use their forms, not what's located in the MLS, but in Dotloop, they are going away at the end of this year. They are getting out of the document business altogether. So if there is a document in MLS Now interactive forms that you use on a regular basis, let me know what it is so that we can steal it, replicate it, duplicate it, and put it in where it needs to go with the rest of our forms. Many of you may not even know that tab exists in Dotloop. And if you don't, that's okay. Don't look for it because it's going away. But if you don't, if you have a form, let me know so we can get that in there. Then wholesaling, House Bill 155 did pass. You're going to find out on March 1st of 2026. All wholesalers will have to have a disclosure for their seller. It has some pretty good teeth. If the wholesaler doesn't provide this document to their seller to let the seller know that they don't intend to close on the property and that they're wholesaling it, they can be turned into a state agency of some kind and whatever. But there comes some significant fines, like $5, $10, $15, $20,000, depending upon how much they do this and how often they get turned in. But also for the homeowner, if they aren't provided that at the time of signing the contract with the wholesaler, they can get out of the contract at any time without any violations whatsoever and being sued by the wholesaler. So that's important to know, especially if you guys are engaging in any of that representing a buyer or a seller. Okay, March 1st. Vacant land scam. So we've seen a few of our agents almost get scammed. Thankfully, most of you have called or caught it beforehand, not in our brokerage, but at some of the other K1 networks. They haven't. They've listed a property for a person that they've never met or spoken to that has a very similar name on vacant land to the actual owner. Some of them have got almost the way to closing before they figured out it was fraud. So if you are listing vacant land, please use the ForeWarn app and make sure that the phone number associated with the person that you're talking to, they actually own that land and it's found in public records. So if it sounds too good to be true, a lead that's coming through that says, oh yes, I found you online and I want to list my 70 acres with you, figure out where you got that lead from, because it's probably they're finding agents that are not double checking anything. Okay, so please be careful with that. Use the ForeWarn app. And then we also have other phishing scams. You might be waiting on a closing. I will tell you, sadly, this happened to me. I was waiting on closing documents. I was in a hurry. I got an email from 2 different title companies, not paying attention to who they were from. I opened it and I changed my password immediately because I realized that I had tried to open something that was a phishing scam and they were trying to get my email information. So be very careful what you're opening. in your email, because we all are very busy. We think that it's coming from a title company and we download the disclosure or whatever. And unfortunately, that is a phishing scam that lets them into your email. And if you don't catch it fast enough, they're going to take control of your email. So be careful with that. And then the same thing with Zoogle. Zoogle. That's a they coined that term. Zoom and Google meet scams. If you get a lead that says that I live out of state or I live out of the country or whatever, and I want to meet with you on Zoom or Google
Or Zoogle.
or
WhatsApp.
or WhatsApp or any of these things, and they say, oh, my spouse is out of the country, whatever. The moment that you click on that Zoom link that they create, they have now taken over your computer. So if the lead comes through, and again, it's too good to be true, check on it, figure out where it came from and why they're contacting you. It is not your birthday and your lucky day that you're just getting that, okay? And it wouldn't be a lucky day to get your computer taken over. And then disclosure of referrals for NAR. So just coming back from the NAR conference, there was a vote that got approved all the way until the agents. The NAR governing board basically said, for transparency purposes, if you are accepting a referral or getting paid a referral or sending a referral, that your client should have the right to know how much that referral is, who's getting paid off of it, and when they're getting paid. It did get voted down at NAR, however, it is probably going to come back. And I say that because if you haven't heard, EXP has already implemented this where it is now mandatory for their agents. So if you get a referral from an EXP agent, and I'm sure that Howard Hanna is probably going to jump on board, other companies are going to do it. You will have to sign your client and you will both have to sign a document disclosing that you are either getting paid a referral or you are paying a referral. Now, I'm all about transparency, but part of the reason that I voted no against this is simply because I feel like the next thing, if we let this happen, the next thing is going to be disclosing how much you're getting paid versus the brokerage getting paid. And I think it's going way too far into our business. We don't know how much our clients get paid. It's none of our business, right? So I can't say that we're going to stop this forever, but I want to let you guys know that if you do get asked to sign something at certain companies, it's going to be mandatory or you're not going to get paid the referral. So, yeah. So it's coming. More disclosure. Everybody's going to know everything that we make and how we do our business pretty soon. So any questions on that? Okay. Well, that was lots of updates. There you guys go. Thanks for putting me at the end. I appreciate it. Thanks.
All right, next up, our Ohio Christmas Factory giveaway.
Oh, I didn't update the number, forgive me. It's 248 closings this month, so if you sold a house last month, write down a number between 1 and 248. And it is the closest without going over Price is Right rule.
Without going over.
And then if you're in Zoom, Zoom your number.
Yep, zoom your number.
Oh, okay. On the website or on the
The email said you had me here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you totally did.
Counts.
Pick a number just in case.
What's the number?
One
It's 248. Okay. Click to spin.
ready?
Everybody ready?
Okay.
Nice.
I feel like this could be faster. I appreciate it.
Oh.
Okay.
It's the closest without going over.
I have 33.
Damn.
I have 42 on Zoom.
Today. That's over.
That's
So
over.
it's over, okay.
Anybody closer than 33?
So you've got a lot here.
All right, Sarah capped and she gets
Dang, Sam.
That's
You came close, but I feel like you won the ultimate prize.
All right, guys, hey, as we're getting ready to wrap up here, just real quick, as we're getting ready to come into 2026, if you haven't started planning yet for your business for 2026, or if you're in the middle of it or you're done with it, I'm happy to sit down with anybody anytime to talk about their 2026 goals, whether we look at the GPS like Gina was mentioning, talk about profitability, looking to add people, however and whenever. So please feel free to reach out anytime and we'll get something on the calendar.
Yay.
Ashley?
So our holiday party is this Friday. Do know that we are completely sold out on tickets. If something were to come up and you are unable to make it, please reach out to me. And if you don't have a ticket and you would like one, also reach out to me so that I can put you on a waiting list. And then in January, at the end of the month, we're going to be bringing in Lauren Lucas. She is going to be giving us a big insight on AI. That's it.
And that is it. Hey, guys, to piggyback off the Lauren Lucas AI event in January, we do have limited capacity for that. So if you are interested, please reach out ASAP so we can make sure we get you.
Can you pull
I-
the slide back up so they can scan the QR code?
I also sent you all an email this morning that has the link in it.
Oh, there is a sign up.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you didn't read that? Oh. Did you keep it or did you delete it?
Whatever.
I just didn't open my email.
Okay, I'll take it.
Okay, that's.
I'll leave this slide up so you can scan the QR code, but that's it for this month. Thank you all so much for coming. Please grab some food, hang out. And I hope to see all of you Friday at the holiday party. And if I don't see you between now and the end of the year, have a happy holiday. Be safe. Enjoy your families. Thanks, everybody.
Mary.